Hello out there, RC community. Today we have the Eachine E010 ducted quadcopter. The micro. It's in the box. After taking off the package, we have what is in the box here. E010 Eachine. Comes in green and red. It says on the side here 2.4 gigahertz eversion light 6-axis CF mode, one press return, so nothing special, high and low speeds. Nothing incredible here, but for $16 I purchased this from Banggood. What I've told so far, this is not a bad little toy for $16. In the package you have the quadcopter with the little quad blade propellers on here, I guess, and it comes with a little ducted place for the air to be pushed through and also act as a blade guard, which works quite well. And I've noticed when this thing crashes, it likes to bounce around a lot. Let's see, as for the quadcopter itself, it comes with a 150 milliamp hour battery right here, and we'll go ahead and plug this in real quick, give you a look at the lights on there, which aren't the greatest. Alright, with that plugged in, you've got your two lights on here, and you got a red in the back and a blue in the front, and they're pretty much tucked up in there. Kind of hard to see from certain angles. Probably not the best for night flight. See, under here, you can take the canopy off really easy. You got your board under there. Your antenna here, if you want to try to get better range, you can try to pull that out through there. I've noticed the range on this is actually pretty good. I've gotten at least 50 meters out of it, and well, probably somewhere around 50 meters, and for this little tiny thing, that's enough. You can't really see it. It goes any farther than that. And as for your flight times, you get about 5 minutes of flight time, about at least a 30-second LVC where your lights will come on to let you know. Alright. And as for inside here, you have your charger and your 4 extra propellers there. Charging takes about a half an hour with this charger here. First plug this into a USB plug, make sure the light comes on in here, then plug this into there, and whenever the light turns off, it's charging. When the light turns back on, it's done charging. As for your controller, is pretty much your basic basic JJrc CX10 size controller. As you can see, I've got one over here. It might be a touch bigger, but not much. And on the controller, you have your rates mode, low and high here. You have your flip button here to make it flip. This is your one-touch return. This is your headless mode on this side. These are trim for your pitch and roll. Power button there. Controller takes 2 AA batteries. I'll put these AA batteries in there. 2 AA batteries in the controller, which isn't bad. Common battery. There you go. Turn the controller on, you got that. Instruction manual is not too bad. Fairly thorough. Get it open here. Explains quite a bit of everything in there that you need to know. It's a little bit hard to understand at times, and some things aren't perfectly correct. Lots of misspellings when it's translated to the English language here. I don't know if you can see that whole thing. On this side, it's all Chinese. So this is the side that you want to see. And like I said, not bad. Decent instructions. Put that down there with the mess of stuff. Propeller guards over here. Show you some size comparisons real quick. There's JJrc CX10, which is quite a bit smaller, especially if you compare like your motor pod size. You're nowhere near the same size as the motor pod. Alright, and then we've got this next one is a micro, which is the JJrc JJ1000. And for micro size motor pod to motor pod, it is quite a bit of difference, so it's not quite as big as a micro. Then you've got your in-between size, which, you know, I call the in-between micro nano. And in between micro and nano size, it's pretty close. It's still a little bit smaller. So I'm not really sure what you would call this. I guess we need a new category for this size here. But being as it's a ducted quadcopter, totally different thing. It's got the bumper blade guards on it, more or less. It's a lot better to fly. This is an excellent flyer for indoor flying. Like I said, you can bounce off walls, you can hit ceilings, your propellers aren't going to get stopped by anything, it's just going to keep spinning. It might hit and fold itself up on the wall, but aside from that, it usually just bounces off of stuff. Hit the ceiling, it'll just come back down. Alright, well, let's take it for a real quick flight in here. Go ahead and drop your battery inside here. Plug it in. Set the copter down. Turn on the transmitter. All the way up, all the way down, binds it. Flies pretty good. If you want to recalibrate, push down to the middle, down to the middle. This will recalibrate also your headless mode. So if your headless mode is turned to the side, when you land it, you can recalibrate it like this, and that will actually fix your headless mode. It will be recalibrated forward again. One touch return, headless mode, all that stuff works good. Let's go ahead and go for a real quick flight. Pretty stable flyer. No control inputs. Throttle's not too bad, not too extremely sensitive. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and hit headless mode. So you can see the yaw. There's your low rate yaw in headless mode. Just holding on to headless mode pretty good. And there's your high rate. There's your headless mode in high rate. Switch that back to low and back to high. Go out of headless mode here. Dog likes to bark at my quadcopters. So then we'll give it to low rate pitch and roll. And then we'll go up to high rate pitch and roll. Do a little bumper test with it. Doesn't stop it at all. Bounces it around, but it doesn't stop it. We'll even take it up to the ceiling real quick. No problems against the ceiling. Pretty good little flyer. Go back to low rate. We'll show you a funnel in low rate. Ooh. Get too close to the door there. There's your low rate funnel. Not bad. We'll do a high rate funnel. Pretty good on a high rate funnel. It's pretty tight. And we'll show you flips. Ooh. Yep, lots of altitude. So you got to hit that throttle halfway through that flip if you want to keep it flying. Not the greatest at flipping, although my battery probably is getting a little worn out now. And these ducted fans on here kind of do have a little bit of a problem keeping it from having a prop wash kind of issue where it just doesn't want to catch itself when it's dropping. But aside from that, I've noticed it actually flies pretty good. When you yaw really fast, it kind of wants to lose some altitude sometimes. This ain't too bad though. Ooh. Not too bad for a little $16 quadcopter. With the ducted propellers on it that allow you to bounce around off of stuff. All in all, not a bad little $16 ducted quadcopter with quad blade propellers on here. It flies really good, it's really smooth, really quiet. It does, like I said, lose a little bit of altitude sometimes when yawing or when flipping. It kind of loses it a little bit too. Yeah, but it's a fun little copter. This is the next project that I'm going to have for this one. As you know, everybody's been doing this tiny whoop stuff. I can't afford a $70 blade Inductrix, so this is where this is going to go. There you go, that'll be in another video.